Horror video games. They're scary, they're terrifying, and they're incredibly disturbing. Hello everyone, welcome back to the Boss Ranker, and today we're going to be taking a look at 6 different horror video games, and ranking them from worst to best based on their survivability. So without wasting any more of your time, let's get straight into the ranking. Resident Evil 7. Now this one makes me very happy. I'm actually incredibly stoked to be talking about this game on the YouTube channel, because Resident Evil 7 is one of my favorite horror games of all time. I fucking love this game. I love everything about it. I love the setting, I love the enemies, I love the Baker family. Hell, I even love Ethan Winters. Yeah, he's kind of a one-note protagonist. He doesn't really add a whole lot to the story narratively. But hey, it's fun to see his limbs get chopped off. But we're not talking about what I like about this game, we're talking about survivability. And let me just say right now that surviving Resident Evil 7 is basically impossible. In this game, we have the Baker family, and the Baker family does not fuck around, guys. The Baker family does not take any prisoners, they execute all of them. The family is comprised of 4 terrifying members. We have Jack Baker, who's the father. He's an ex-Marine. Jack Baker has expert combat skills. He's incredibly strong, incredibly versatile. He survives bullets to the face, he cannot be taken down. And the only reason we end up killing him is because we stab him with a serum that cures him of this fucked up virus. After Jack, we have Marguerite, who has a bug pussy. Yes, you heard that right. She has a cougar MILF. I don't even know how that's possible. I don't even want to get into it and discuss how it's possible. It's fucking crazy. We have Lucas, who's basically an incel jigsaw. All this guy really does is torture people all fucking day, and he's incredibly creative. Seriously, they should hire this guy for the future Saw movies because he knows what he's fucking doing. And finally, we have Evelyn, and Evelyn just wants to start a family. This girl doesn't even have any evil motivations. I mean, the way she goes about doing this is incredibly fucked up and sadistic, but for what it's worth, she's a nice little girl, and she just wants to save and help people. I can't doubt that. However, what makes Evelyn so dangerous is the fact that she's basically a bioweapon. The only way you can live is if she decides you're worthy of her family. If not, you're cooked, bro. You're out the fucking list. And even if you survived all of that, you still have booby traps. You've got booby traps, you've got molded men walking around the house, you've even got crocodiles surrounding the premises of the Baker Mansion. And if these crocodiles get hold of you, you're cooked. If these crocodiles grab you, they will eat you alive, they will kill you instantly. They show no chill, they show no mercy. Resident Evil 7 is a living nightmare, and the only reason Ethan Winters survives, the only reason this guy is such a Chad, is because he has superpowers. He's quite literally a walking zombie. This guy cannot die, this guy shows no mercy, and I fucking love him for that. He's one of my favorite Resident Evil protagonists. He better come back in RE9, that's all I'm gonna say. So, for all of those reasons, I'm putting RE7 in I'm cooked. Until Dawn. Coming up next, we have an entry which I'm very excited to discuss because Until Dawn is an amazing game. I've done countless runs of Until Dawn, I've unlocked all of the endings, and I even saw that god-awful fucking movie, that abomination that released last month. However, despite that shit show and all of the slop games that followed this exceptional example of a video game, I do have to say that surviving Until Dawn really depends on a lot of factors. First of all, the dangers in this game are literally everywhere. Making the smallest mistake in Until Dawn, whether it's tripping on a log or breathing too loudly, will mark your death somewhere down the line. The butterfly effect is wild in this game and shows absolutely no mercy when deciding your fate in this world. I've always called Until Dawn the final destination of gaming, And I really do believe that to be true because almost everything is out to get you, including the Wendigos, who act as this game's primary threat. Because the Wendigos are versatile. They can kill you in a fraction of a second through their swift speed and cunning intellect, which makes them a creature worthy of our fear. Honestly, while yes, Until Dawn is one of the more forgiving entries on this list, it's still incredibly deadly, which is why it's going into mid. Dead Space. So I have a confession to make. I am not an expert on this series or even grasp the basic knowledge of what the Dead Space lore even is. Because when I was a kid, Dead Space was way too scary for me. Hell, even the remake today really tested my limits because this series taps into an area of horror that terrifies me to the core. And that's body horror. In this game, we encounter so many different and terrifying variations of monsters. In Dead Space, we have the Necromorphs, an infection that revives the Ishimura crew, reanimating them into a transcendence of life where they hunt down anything they can find to spread their scorned virus even further. The most terrifying enemy in this game, and it's not even close, is the Hunter. A creature biologically engineered to feed off my nightmares by killing me over and over again in this endless cycle of pain. And if all of that somehow wasn't enough, we're quite literally being brainwashed over time by being exposed to the marker, which shows us ancient scripture that we cannot even begin to process. So instead of us translating this information, it instead makes us lose our minds, resulting in sinister hallucinations completely shattering the barrier between reality and fiction. Surviving Dead Space requires many things which I unfortunately have none of. You have to be perceptive of your surroundings, have basic marksman skills to deal with the onslaught of necromorphs, which I quite frankly do not have the IQ or the patience for. Dead Space is one of the best survival horror games I've ever played and is absolutely a game I could never survive. So for all of those reasons, I'm putting Dead Space in I'm cooked. Seriously, Dead Space is a fucking masterpiece. If you've never played this game for whatever reason, pick it up, guys. It's worth your time. Alien Isolation. Now, I'm going to be completely honest when I say that this game absolutely destroys me every single time I play it. I'm not sure whether it's my bad reaction times, my god-awful perception, or just my basic ignorance of this world. However, there's no denying that this is an objectively difficult experience, because the threats and dangers scattered throughout Isolation are not to be underestimated. For example, in this game we have the Xenomorph, the Facehuggers, Working Joes, who are easily the most unforgiving enemies in this game. And if you somehow survived all of that, the survivors who patrol the Nostromo's hallways are sure to keep you on your toes. And what makes this one of the most intimidating entries on this list is the Xenomorph, because this creature is absolutely intelligent. Every single thing about this AI scares the fuck out of me. The traps you set to distract the Xenomorph will eventually become an ineffective noise. The flamethrower, which was once so powerful, so dominant, will soon become a tool that reflects how hopeless and desperate you really are. The flamethrower basically becomes a water gun to the Xenomorph after a certain amount of time. That's how fucking strong this thing really is. Alien Isolation is a long game that kills me countless times for its 15-hour runtime, which is exactly why I would rather die than ever see the Nostromo with my own eyes. So for all of those reasons, I'm putting Alien Isolation in Please Kill Me. Five Nights at Freddy's. Coming up next, we have a game that I am 100% confident I could beat, and that's Five Nights at Freddy's. Because this shit really isn't as bad as everyone thinks. animatronics. Now, when discussing the series as a whole, yes, there would be far more difficult games to survive. Yes, some of these games would be absolutely impossible, such as FNaF 4 and 2. Those two come to mind specifically because I haven't beaten those yet. Maybe we'll do it on a stream or something. However, the first game in this series is child's play when compared to the sequels, because we really don't have much to look out for. In this game, there's only 4 animatronics, 5 including Golden Freddy, who all attempt to be intimidating. But once you know their tricks, it's really not all that bad. And when you get to night 5, yes, things do get a little bit harder, but it's all manageable with a little bit of patience, skill, and strategy. Where the challenge really lies in this game is managing your power supply, because being too reckless will drain that power bar faster than you can say. Something that always bothered me about this game is why Mike even comes back to the pizzeria after night 2. I don't know about you guys, but if I'm seeing freaky shit like this, my ass is never coming back. You can keep your $120.50 or whatever the fuck they pay you at the end of this game, because that won't even pay for weekly shopping, let alone the rent. So with all of that said, I'm putting FNaF in easy, and it's not even close. Amnesia The Bunker. Ending this long list of terrifying video games, we have Amnesia The Bunker. And this shit is probably the worst entry on this entire list, I'm not gonna lie. Before we continue, I just want you to imagine this scenario. Imagine you're in the midst of World War II, with every single thing witnessed being the most traumatic and terrifying examples of human suffering you've ever seen. To take solace from the madness, you take cover in the trenches and get trapped inside. At first, this seems like a break from the madness, however, what you'll soon realize is the horrors that reside in this bunker make the war outside seem like child's play by comparison. Because in these trenches, we have the Beast, a horrifying creature of unknown origins, who is similar to the Xenomorph in game design, but is more scary and unforgiving. And alongside the terrifying Beast, we have Toussaint Belfoy, someone who gouged out his own fucking eyes due to the horrors he witnessed in war, and traverses the endless caverns reciting all of the horrors he witnessed, in an endless cycle of madness. Seriously, Toussaint is way fucking scarier than the Beast in every possible way, or at least in my opinion. Just the concept of this character frightens me to the core. So yeah, long story short, there is no fucking way I could survive the bunker. In fact, I would rather take my chances on the no man's land than ever face the horrors that lay beneath. So for all of those reasons, I'm putting Amnesia The Bunker in Please Kill Me. This shit is not even close. Holy cow, this video is finally fucking finished. Sorry guys, I need to apologize to all of my fans, all the 235 of them anyway, because this video was a fucking nightmare to make. I've actually made this video 2 times now because my previous 2 videos got fucking video corrupted. And yeah, it really rubbed me the wrong way. So if you guys could maybe give this video a like, a subscribe, or if you could show some support in any way, I would greatly appreciate that. And for some reason, if you didn't enjoy the video, feel free to tell me to go fuck myself. I kinda deserve it after this. Anyways, I hope you have a fantastic day, take care of yourselves, keep drinking that coffee, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.